So, it's a omnes. This is Magister Hodges, and we're going to talk about comparative and superlative adjectives. So, when we're talking about adjectives, there are three different flavors, I guess you could say. These flavors are known as different degrees. You are probably familiar with the saying "good, better, best, never let it rest." Well, in that little saying, you have the idea of three different degrees of the singular adjective, good. If something is more good than good, you would say it's better. And if something is better than everything else, then you would say it's the best. What this phrase illustrates is the difference between positive, comparative, and superlative degree adjectives. A positive adjective is its normal form, what you normally think of with an adjective. For example, in Latin, you have the words iratus and fessus, meaning angry and tired. This is what it looks like. Iratus and fessus is how these words would come up or appear in your vocabulary list. And it's the most common version. This is what we call the positive degree of the adjective, just the normal version that you get. But if something is more angry than angry, or has more anger than something else, then you're starting to compare two things. And that's when you would use what's called the comparative degree. In English, the comparative degree of angry is angrier. That Y at the end turns into IER. For tired, you don't really say tireder, we say more tired. So these are two examples of how something is comparative in English. In Latin, you'll see that the ending iratus and fessus, they both change to IOR, iratior, fessior. You'll actually notice that it looks very similar to the IER in angrier. This is called the comparative degree, and the IOR ending is what signifies to you that this adjective is in the comparative degree. That it doesn't just mean angry or tired, it means angrier or more tired. Then you have something that is angrier than anything else that you know, or more tired than anything else that you know. Then it goes up another degree from iratior or fessior to the superlative degree, which would be iratissimus or fessissimus. You're familiar with these endings from earlier in Latin 1. If you slap an issimus on the end of an adjective, it goes from meaning just angry to angriest, or most angry. It can also mean very angry, or very tired. So these are the three degrees of adjectives we're going to talk about. Comparative adjectives, they look like this. They have IOR as the end, and if they're declined in another case, then you'll start to see third declension endings pop up after the R here. Iratior, iratioris, iratiori, iratiorum, and so on. Superlative adjectives you can tell them because they have the issimus, issima, issimum endings, and they follow first or second declension endings depending on the thing they're describing. We'll see this happen more later. Comparative degree adjectives are defined by the blanker definition or the more blank definition, angrier or more tired. Superlatives, the blankest or very blank, angriest or most tired. Now, as we know, adjectives need to agree in case, number, and gender with the thing they're describing. Now, as we see, comparative adjectives take on their own endings, and they'll follow the third declension, regardless of the declension that the adjective followed in the first place. Superlative adjectives will always follow first and second declension endings. So, for example, novus means new, novior means newer, novissimus means newest. And when it's positive, it follows the first and second declension. When it becomes comparative, it follows the third declension. And when it's superlative, it has a first or second declension ending again. However, let's look at this other adjective, difficilis, for difficult. Notice that this is a third declension adjective because it ends with an is when it's nominative. Difficilis means difficult. If we want to mean more difficult, we'll say difficilior. That is turns into IOR. It's still third declension. But when this little thing at the bottom disappears, when we want to say the most difficult or very difficult, we'll say difficilissimus. And that'll follow first or second declension adjective endings, um, regardless of what the original declension was. So here's an example of a positive, sorry, of a positive degree adjective. We're going to talk about the new house. You may be familiar with the college Villanova if you follow college basketball. That literally just means new house. So let's look at how this word changes, or this phrase changes as we move through the declension, or as we move through the cases. So Wila Noa, that's nominative singular, the new house. But if you wanted to say that plurally, you say Wili Noai, the new houses. The ending Nous turns into Noah because the word house is feminine and follows the first declension. Then you'll notice it turns to AE, so it's a first declension nominative ending, nominative plural ending, and that will change because if Wili becomes plural, Noai also has to be plural. If I want to say to or for the new house, I'll say Wili Noai. Again, if it's dative plural, if I want to say to or for the new houses, I'll say Wilis Nois. The new house accusatively, Wilam Noam for a singular new house, or Wilas Noas for multiple new houses. Now let's make it comparative. If I want to talk about the newer house, Wila stays the same, but Noah turns into Noeor. Wila Noeor, the newer house. Now if I want to talk about multiple newer houses, I'll say Wili Noeores. This will have a third declension plural ending because it is comparative, even though this still has a first declension ending. That's okay. They're both technically still feminine. Wili Noeori, to or for the newer house. Willis Noeoribus, to or for the newer houses. Wilam Noeorem, the newer house in the accusative, and Wilas Noeores, the newer houses in the accusative plural. Then we talk about the superlative. We're going to change from house to dog just to illustrate the difference in declension not being a problem, as long as they have the same case, nominative, and gender. In this case, they're both masculine. And number. If it's singular, this is singular. If the word being described is plural, then the adjective will be plural. So let's talk about the newest dog, canis novissimus. When I say newest dogs, I'll say canis novissimi. To or for the newest dog, cani novissimo. For multiple, to or for the newest dogs, canibus novissimis. The newest dog in the accusative, canem novissimum. And the newest dogs, canes novissimos. Now you're going to start to see the word quam pop up quite a bit, and it can be used with different adjectives in different ways, and it changes depending on the degree of the adjective. If you see quam with a positive adjective, that is the base form of the adjective, then it can be translated as how blank or so blank. Quam iratus est, how angry you are, or you are so angry. So it kind of, instead of increasing the degree of the adjective, you can see how it kind of emphasizes the amount of anger. Quam with a comparative adjective. You'll use quam here to mean than. We've done this a couple times already. Tu est irratior quam me. You are angrier than I am. You are angrier than me. If you see quam with a superlative adjective, then that kind of kicks it up another notch from the blankest or very blank to mean as blank as possible. I call this the Super Saiyan superlative. Quam irratissimi sunt. They are as angry as possible. Notice I just have as angry as possible. The sunt means they are, and I just left that out. That's my mistake. So quam irratissimi sunt. They are as angry as possible. Now, just like in English, not every adjective follows the same pattern. In English, instead of saying good, gooder, and goodest, we say good, better, and best. Same in Latin. Bonus means good, melior means better, optimus means best. And I'm just going to work my way up from the bottom. The word wicked or bad, malus. Malus just means wicked. Pior means more wicked or more bad or worse. Pessimus, most wicked or worst. Parvus, minor, minimus. These are all the different versions of small. Parvus means small. Minor, like minor, means smaller. Minimus means the smallest. And you can kind of see the English, minimal, minimum, the smallest amount possible right here. Then we have magnus for big or large, or I'm sorry, great or large. Magnus means great or large. Maior means greater or larger. Maximus means the greatest or largest. And so that's just a brief overview of comparative and superlative adjectives. These are easier practiced when you just see them in context. And hopefully that when you see them next time, you'll notice the ending, the IOR ending, or the imus, isimus ending, and that'll help click in your brain. If you have any questions, send me a message on It's Learning. Walete.